You jolt awake at precisely 6:47 a.m. A full 7 minutes before the jarring shriek of your alarm clock. Your body, that intricate and often unacknowledged machine, knows the drill. It's been performing this exact awakening ritual for a staggering 847 days, nearly 13 years, all dedicated to the same company. A company that, in your more pragmatic moments, you defend as providing security, a comfortably predictable salary, comprehensive benefits, and that ever-elusive promise of stability. Yet, as your gaze drifts upwards to the familiar patterns on the ceiling, a persistent, nagging feeling tugs at the edges of your contentment. It's a feeling you can't quite articulate, can't quite shake off. You're earning significantly more money than your parents ever dared to dream of. A testament to your hard work and dedication. And yet, paradoxically, you feel more financially strained, more perpetually broke than ever before. In the next few minutes, I'm going to pull back the curtain and reveal precisely why this isn't some unfortunate coincidence or a personal failing. It's by calculated design. This is the salary chop, the systematic erosion of your financial potential. Let me introduce you to Sarah. She's 34 years old, a bright, capable professional, and she earns a respectable $85,000 a year. On paper, according to statistical reports and societal benchmarks. She sits comfortably in the top 20% of earners in her country. She should feel rich, successful, financially secure. But she doesn't. Far from it. Sarah gets paid every 2 weeks, a common arrangement in the corporate world. That equates to roughly $3.216.00 before the inevitable onslaught of taxes and deductions. After the government has taken its share, she's left with $2.458. Now, here's where the chop truly begins. Where the subtle yet devastating manipulation takes hold. The system, in its insidious wisdom, doesn't present her with a clear, conscious choice. It doesn't say, here's your hard-earned money, Sarah. Now, decide how you want to use it. How you want to invest it, how you want to build your future. Instead, it does something far more clever, far more effective. It subtly fragments her money, diverting it across a network of invisible channels, before she even has a chance to truly see it. To truly grasp its potential. Rent, the ever-present, unavoidable expense, swallows a staggering $1.200. That's nearly half of her after-tax income, vanishing before she even has a chance to blink. Groceries and the occasional, much-needed restaurant meal account for another $400. The car payment, insurance premiums, and the ever-fluctuating cost of gasoline collectively drain $550 from her account. The ubiquitous phone bill. Internet access, the lifeline to the modern world, and a collection of subscriptions, Netflix, Spotify. That gym membership she rarely uses, chip away another $120. Utilities, electricity, water, gas, another $140. By the time Sarah actually sees her paycheck, her tangible, usable income, she's already pre-spent a staggering $2.410 of her $2.458. She's left with a paltry $48 to stretch across an entire 2 weeks. $48 to cover unexpected expenses, to save for the future, to simply live. But here's the insidious psychological genius of it all. Sarah doesn't consciously experience this as deprivation. She has a car, a reliable if somewhat soul-crushing commute. She has a place to live. A roof over her head, even if it's a small apartment in an increasingly expensive city. She's employed, she's seemingly successful. This meticulously crafted system provides just enough comfort, just enough perceived security. To subtly lull you into complacency, to stop you from asking the truly uncomfortable questions. Why aren't I building wealth? Why am I working so hard and still struggling to get ahead? This is the salary trap's first and most effective weapon, the illusion of prosperity through fragmentation. When money arrives in a seemingly substantial lump sum, only to vanish in a multitude of small, almost imperceptible pieces, your brain never fully grasps the reality of the situation. You're perpetually treading water, working harder and harder just to stay afloat. You have a lifestyle, meticulously curated and carefully maintained. But you don't have wealth. There's a crucial, fundamental difference. Now, let's delve into the darker aspects of this system. The elements that actively keep you trapped, dependent on that bi-weekly paycheck. Think about it logically. From a young age, you're relentlessly told to pursue a good education. So, you diligently study. You strive for good grades, you apply to colleges. And, like so many others, you likely go into debt to finance that education. You take out loans, accumulating thousands, perhaps even hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. Now, armed with your degree, you're thrust into the job market, desperately hunting for a job. Any job, to begin repaying that substantial investment. You finally find one, a promising position with a great salary. Perhaps $60,000 a year. A seemingly fantastic start. But the moment you accept that job offer, something insidious happens. Your lifestyle, subtly and almost unconsciously, begins to inflate to match your newfound income. Economists refer to this phenomenon as lifestyle inflation. I call it the system's second, equally effective trap. You secure the job at $60,000, and suddenly you can afford a slightly nicer apartment, so you upgrade. Your rent increases from $800 to $200. You can now afford a more reliable, more aesthetically pleasing car. You trade in your old vehicle and acquire a new one, complete with a hefty monthly payment that jumps from $200 to $400. Fast forward a few years. You're now earning $90,000, a significant increase. So, you move to an even nicer apartment. Perhaps in a more desirable neighborhood, pushing your rent up to $1,600. You upgrade your car again, opting for a luxury model, resulting in a $500 monthly payment. Perhaps you even take a vacation. A lavish getaway you wouldn't have even considered before. Each increase in salary feels like a step towards freedom, a reward for your hard work. But in reality, each increase actually tightens the noose, further restricting your options, limiting your financial flexibility. Here's why. You're no longer truly free to leave that job, that seemingly secure position that's slowly draining your soul. Because you need that salary. You need it to maintain your increasingly elaborate and expensive lifestyle. You've meticulously constructed a financial existence that demands a constant influx of paychecks, a never-ending cycle of work and consumption. This is what I call golden handcuffs. The cruelest part? You did this to yourself. The system didn't force you to upgrade your apartment or buy that new car. It simply presented the options, tempting you with the allure of progress and status. And human psychology, our innate desire for improvement and social acceptance, did the rest. We've been conditioned to perceive progress as moving up, as acquiring more possessions, as achieving a higher social standing. Not as actually getting richer, not as building true, lasting wealth. So, we diligently move up, climbing the corporate ladder, only to find ourselves trapped in a lifestyle that consumes every single penny we earn. A CEO making $500,000 a year can be just as trapped, just as financially vulnerable, as someone making $50,000 if their lifestyle requires $450,000 annually to maintain. The salary itself doesn't determine your freedom. The critical factor is the gap between your income and your expenses. And the system, in its elegant complexity, is deliberately designed to keep that gap as small as possible, to ensure your continued dependence. Let me tell you about my friend David. He worked in the tech industry, a high-pressure, high-reward environment. He made a comfortable six-figure salary, a dream for many. But he was profoundly unhappy, dreading each Monday morning, feeling increasingly disconnected from his work. Every time he even considered quitting, of escaping the corporate grind and pursuing his passions, his stomach would clench with anxiety. Why? Because he'd already committed to a $400,000 mortgage on a suburban house, 2 car payments, one for him, one for his wife, and the exorbitant cost of sending his children to private school. He had obligations, responsibilities, dependents. He was trapped. One day, his company offered him a promotion, a significant $20,000 raise. He felt a wave of relief wash over him, a surge of gratitude. He felt like he'd won, that his hard work had finally paid off. 2 weeks later, reality came crashing down. His landlord, citing market conditions, raised the rent on an investment property he owned. His mortgage interest rate adjusted upwards. His oldest child suddenly needed expensive orthodontic work, braces that would cost thousands. He needed a new car because the old one required repairs that cost a fortune. And just like that, his financial stress, his underlying anxiety, didn't decrease, not even by a fraction. It remained exactly the same, a constant, nagging weight on his shoulders. This is the system's most insidious trick. Its most subtle form of manipulation. You're not actually building wealth with your salary increases. You're simply increasing your obligations, your expenses, at a rate that surpasses your income growth. It's why the person making $30,000 a year and the person making $300,000 a year often report similar levels of financial stress. The system is meticulously engineered to ensure that your required expenses always catch up, to keep you perpetually on the financial treadmill. And when you're living paycheck to paycheck, even a substantial one, you're predictable, you're controllable. You need that job. You can't afford to take risks, to pursue your entrepreneurial dreams, to invest in your own ideas, because all your money is already promised to someone else. Your landlord, your bank, the car company, they all benefit from your trapped state. You're a guaranteed revenue stream, a reliable source of income. But you don't actually benefit. You're simply fueling the system. I want you to imagine something. A thought experiment to illustrate your level of financial freedom. Imagine you quit your job tomorrow. You simply walked out, severing ties with the corporate world. How many months could you realistically survive maintaining your current lifestyle, before your savings ran dry? Be honest with yourself. If your answer is less than 3 months, you're trapped. And you're far from alone. Over 60% of professionals, even those with seemingly comfortable salaries, couldn't sustain their current lifestyle for more than 1 month without a paycheck. Think about that for a moment. You are, at all times, just 1 month away from a potential financial crisis. That's not security. That's a very comfortable, very well-furnished prison. The salary trap convinces you that this is normal. That this is just the way the world works. Work, earn, spend. Work harder, earn more, spend more. An endless cycle of consumption. But this isn't inevitable. It's not a law of physics. Not an immutable force of nature. It's a choice, a carefully constructed system that's been subtly imposed upon you. The moment you realize that your salary isn't actually keeping you rich, that it's simply keeping you busy enough to prevent you from becoming rich, everything changes. Because once you see it, once you truly understand the insidious nature of the trap, you can't unsee it. You start asking different questions, challenging the conventional wisdom. Not, how do I make more money? But, why does all my money seem to vanish as soon as I earn it? Not, how do I get a promotion? But, how do I build assets instead of accumulating liabilities? This isn't about impulsively quitting your job tomorrow, jeopardizing your financial stability. The fundamental point is this. Awareness changes behavior. Once you understand that the salary trap is a system, a carefully crafted construct, and not some immutable law, you can begin to dismantle it, piece by piece. First, stop confusing income with wealth. A $200,000 salary is simply income, a temporary flow of money. $50,000 in savings and investments. On the other hand, is wealth, a foundation of financial security. One is temporary, dependent on your continued labor. The other is permanent, a source of passive income that works for you, even while you sleep. Second, attack the gap between your income and your expenses. Intentionally keep your expenses lower than your income. This may feel backward, counterintuitive to our consumerist society, but it's the only mechanism that truly works. The only way to break free from the cycle. Third, redirect that gap, that surplus, into assets that work for you, not liabilities that work against you. Invest in stocks, bonds, real estate, or your own business, anything that generates passive income and builds lasting wealth. And most importantly, build optionality. The moment you have 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved in a readily accessible account, something profound shifts psychologically. You're no longer trapped. You have a safety net, a buffer against the unexpected. You can negotiate better terms at your job, knowing you have the freedom to walk away. You can take calculated risks, knowing you have a cushion to fall back on. You can leave situations that don't serve you, relationships that drain you, work environments that stifle your growth. The ultimate goal isn't simply to earn more money. The ultimate goal is to become independent from the system's requirement that you need that paycheck. Because the moment you don't need it, the moment you have the freedom to choose, you're truly free. The salary trap is real. It's sophisticated, it's insidious, but it is not inescapable. The people who break free aren't necessarily smarter or luckier than you. They simply became aware. They saw the system for what it is, a carefully crafted illusion. And they decided that comfort wasn't the same as freedom. You have that same choice. You have the power to break free, to build a life of true financial independence. If you found this breakdown valuable, if you want to learn the actual mechanics of building wealth instead of just perpetually chasing income, subscribe to this channel. We break down the psychology of money, the systems that control your finances, and how to beat them at their own game. New videos are released every week, each one getting you one step closer to actual financial freedom. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.